YouTube,
Mhm.
millions and millions of views. Your family is so famous for YouTube.
Mhm.
When YouTube or just social media, because I've watched you kids, your brothers, you, your dad, your mom, you all are all in, and
Yeah.
you understand, and I understand the power of it,
Mhm.
and it's what has kept my career going. And you just referenced it about you.
That's why
When
I have a career right now.
you got a great career. Well, when was the first time did your mom or dad sit you down and said, "Hey, this YouTube thing"? At what age do you remember this sensation, of YouTube and their sponsors like it?
Mhm.
What age were you? Do you remember the talk your family had with you? We need content.
My dad was always about making content, as in, like, he always put on a really good act. When X Games came around, they would film skits, like dirt bike skits with
Oh,
their crew of guys, and post it on YouTube and stuff. And I'm talking like OG YouTube days, 10, 15 years ago.
he got it early. And
Early, yeah. And so he was already kind of doing that stuff, and he loved doing it. He enjoys dressing up in like outfits and doing skits. Like was like back in the day, and they were super funny. Like him and his buddies would film stuff for YouTube, and that's back when, like, I feel like those were kind of popular. And so he's always doing crazy stuff, and so I kind of just like learned from him. And then he started Instagram. Like, I still remember to this day when one of my aunts came over and was talking about Instagram for the first time. Like, I was little, and I don't even know how I remember, but I remember us making an account, and I had just got an iPhone for the first time, and my family had just switched from Blackberries to iPhones.
oh, the legendary BlackBerry.
Yeah, and I remember they came over and we all downloaded Instagram and stuff, and we just kind of started doing it from there. My dad started like clipping up his like or putting pictures of his dirt bike on there, and it was so new. Everything was so new back then, and he was already doing Facebook, so he had a big Facebook following. My mom was helping him run that, but like he never really took it super serious because YouTube for him back then didn't make money, and neither did Instagram or neither did Facebook. And so it was more just a way to get views, and then people would sponsor you for who you are, and then you
Right.
go do what you do. And so now it's transitioned into, okay, YouTube pays pretty good money. Monetization money is it's better than any other platform. And Instagram doesn't pay. Facebook pays a little bit. TikTok pays a little bit. And so all these platforms now are, some of them are monetizing, some of them aren't, but the real money is in selling ads for them. So I have a separate manager who just separately, all away from racing and like two different businesses, sells my ads for YouTube. He calls me, says, "Hey, I got a deal from so and so. It's for this much money, 60-second ad. I'll give you the read and the product will be there tomorrow." And I go, "Okay, no problem." And I do. It takes me an hour, 30 minutes, an hour to film, knock it
I
out real
see
quick.
them. I
And that's
see
where I
them.
make my money, on YouTube. And so the racing stuff, the money I bring in for racing, that goes right back out. It's sponsor money to pay for racing. And I live off that money on YouTube ads and those sorts of things. And so a lot of the times, like, I try to keep both separate because I never want to have to touch my racing money to survive.
I,
And that money is going directly back in so we go to the racetrack.
yeah, this is a great story. So for all the races that are watching, uh, people say, "Wallace, you got that NASCAR money. That's the reason you win those dirt races." I said, "No, YouTube money."
I
Let's get
know.
it right.
I think about it, and I put 100% of my effort into racing. I always make sure all my
Right.
racing obligations are done before I do anything. That is my goal. I always make sure I'm done watching footage, doing the simulator stuff, and I figured out a good balance of fitting in the social media side of things to where my boyfriend naturally films all the races and I just do my normal thing. It's become so normal for me. But when we're back at home, filming those ad type deals, that happens after all my racing obligations are done, after all the meetings, the Zoom calls, the posts for this sponsor, the doing this conference, whatever it is. All that happens preparing for races, and all that happens after. And I figured out a good way to fit that in. But if I could be probably making some decent chunk of money if I was putting my full effort into YouTube, but I'm not, because I want to be a racer. That's what I love to do. That's what I want to do. And that's where I want my career to be. The YouTube side of things, it just helps.